Hello and welcome to another RABtoons art stream. Today we are making some more Final Fantasy Tactics models. Let me just get the chat up quickly. There we go. Today we are making Prince Larg, Miluda and Golagros. All relatively minor characters, minus Prince Larg for those familiar with Final Fantasy Tactics. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a start. So as always, we've got our template. You should mostly be familiar with that if you've been to one of these streams before, but I digress. Let's see. First we need to make Prince Larg. Let me know if the music is too loud. Okay, so here we have Prince Larg. Fairly simple character design, so this shouldn't take too long. I think I'm going to get 2 images of him up, because ideally I'd want someone... okay, that was a very random Google result. Perhaps I'll have to elaborate who I mean. Damn. Okay. I guess we're just going with this reference picture. This stream's definitely going to get a copyright strike because of that soundtrack. Oh well. I have this game installed on my PS3. I have it installed on my phone. That's how I've been playing it to play this nutshell. Just like to say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello Leo, Adstar, Cirque, Rat King, Harold, Thompson, Some Geezer, who was first, and Angel Sanbria. Why wouldn't they put Tactics on the Switch? I only have it for PSP, PSP, PS1, PS3, that's not enough. If the rumours are true, you may get your wish for a Switch version of Tactics. There's supposedly rumours that there's going to be a remaster or a remake or some sort of thing coming, so keep your eyes peeled on the news. Okay, so Prince Larg has a very dorky bowl cut. Bowl cuts are very easy to draw in this style because it's just basically a bucket on someone's head. I think Ben Stiller's character in Tropic Thunder, from the fake movie within the movie from Tropic Thunder. I remember there's also a meme going around at the time that that Ben Affleck movie came out, where he was playing some medieval character and someone compared him to this particular character. Thanks Hunter P. Brown, that's very generous. Sid Orlando is Thunder God. For who? Don't worry, there'll definitely be jokes about that in the actual nutshell. Sadly, Sid only appears in the last scene in this particular nutshell, as it's a 2-parter, but you will get your Thunder God Sid, I assure you. Simple Jack, that's who I was thinking of, Sir Hal. Also, hello. That is some home haircut style. Yeah, for a noble guy, it's a very unusual haircut, I'll say that. Okay, I'm gonna guesstimate what his beard looks like. You'll also notice this is Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 12 music, which is obviously set in Evil East, just like Tactics. Mainly because I burned through a lot of Tactics music during the last stream, so just to keep things fresh, we're going with 12, which is also a good soundtrack, so No complaints, hopefully. They should really port FFT to newer consoles. Well, I would say the most recent platform you can play Tactics on is a smartphone, which is kind of bad when you think about it. It's tailor-made for the Switch. Get some shading on Larg. God, now I'm thinking of Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. That's all I can see in this character. I'll see you tonight in my brain movies. Hairstyle originates from Normans wearing chainman cowl. Ah, that would make a lot of sense. Okay, so I think that's his head pretty much done, which is cool. And while we're at it, let's save this model. And just because he's got a massive collar, I'm just going to delete the head. Well, not delete, I'm going to make it invisible temporarily to actually draw the collar out of his robe. Hate your cut, G. That's the second time you've jumped in a stream and made that reference. I like that. It's a Doctor Strange style cowl. I've been doing the PS1 RPG games a lot lately. Breath of Fire 3, Choco Dungeon 2, Vandal Hearts, FF Tactics. All very good games. Fair play, fair play. That kind of hair will get you killed around here. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Not till part 2 though. Do the little tassels on his neck scarf. Is that what this is? As he doesn't have many scenes, we won't go into too much detail on his scarf. At least with it being dark, you can hide the neck. Yes, that's very true. Okay, let's move the picture up a little bit. I assume you can hear me okay over the music. As a lot of you know, I have a problem with volume control with my videos, so it would transpire that that would also apply to live streams. His haircut looks like someone took a bowl and just cut around it. Hi, I finished my Civ V game as Carhage. I've also unlocked the Hades Cup in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Well done, fair play. Okay, what colour is his robe? I'm going to err on the darker side because bright colours just don't look right on some of these character models I've been doing so far. Iconic 12 track. Always makes me think of Final Fantasy Record Keeper for some reason. I think they used it a lot for the events to do with Final Fantasy 12. Discovered your FF nutshells last year. Awesome stuff. Good day, sir. Thank you, Tonton Palanca. Always great to meet a relatively new fan. This is probably going to look way too... No, that's fine. I can do all that. Could you do Chrono Trigger in a nutshell? Well, you're in luck, 20 Nintendo fan 01. I've been playing Chrono Trigger lately and I've been writing a nutshell for it as I go along, and I think I'm about halfway. Well, not halfway. I'm getting close to halfway through because I just defeated Magus for the first time, so I'm not sure where I am in terms of progress. It chucked me back to the Stone Age area once I defeated him, so I obviously know the game's not over just yet. But I'd say I'm a fair chunk into the game. Hello, 64 Power. Ha, you got a good day joke. I know my references from my own videos, Taunton. Breath of Fire in a nutshell. Probably not. Legend of Dragoon in a nutshell is also one I get asked a lot, and again I'd have to play it, so can neither confirm nor deny. Okay, I think this looks pretty good so far. Let's shade in the body. What progress do you use to make these nutshells? Do you mean program, Dawson? In which case, this is Adobe Flash CS4 for making models, and Sony Vegas for actually sort of, making the models move and putting the sound clips and basically all the video editing aspects. Love your videos, got a good laugh from your last. Thank you, Blacks. Have you seen Miles Ulos Sinister? It's a Mulan I'll Make a Man Out of You finished parody. No, I can't say I have seen that one, unfortunately. RABtoons, that's how I currently made it in the game as well. I defeated Magus and saved right after I went to the prehistoric timeline. I played it in Japanese with Super Famicom. So I assume you can understand Japanese then. If anyone's an expert on Chrono Trigger, please let me know how far into the game I am, if I've just defeated Magus for the first time. Okay, that looks pretty good. So to top it off, we just make a set of arms. Classic noodle arms. And we'll borrow the colour from his artwork. Halfway. Okay, that's good. So I'm... Because the script I've been writing for Chrono Trigger is quite long so far, and I was worried that I was making it too long for how far I was in the game, but it's good to know that is not necessarily the case. Okay, so that's Prince Larg done. It only took us 15 minutes! Jokes aside though, that was actually quite fast. I present to you Prince Larg. I'd go other way, big robe, small head. Yeah, but that messes with the style of the video kinda, so... Greetings from Germany. Welcome, Jens Herrick. Okay, so let's move on to the next character. Let's open up a fresh template. So next we're going to make Miluda, sister of Wheatgraph, I think. Might be getting my facts wrong there. Can't wait how you'll end Lightning Returns. Add a Louis Vuitton reference. I remember Lightning was an actual Louis Vuitton model. I remember that. I remember seeing the posters for with like lightning plastered all over them whilst I was in a mall in London. It was very bizarre. You make cool stuff. Thanks. Thank you, Jens Herrick. What was your favourite song in Final Fantasy Tactics? Ooh, that's a tough one. I would probably say... I don't know what the actual name of the track is, but they used it for the fight against Mustadio in the Final Fantasy XIV Evilise raids. No, the name of the track's gone, but it is definitely a standout track. Okay, so done with Prince Larg, we don't need him anymore. Miluda. I think she might be one of these awkward characters that doesn't really have proper artwork, so we may have to do a little bit of creative guesswork. Sometimes I like to use people's fan art as well as a sort of reference guide. I mean, this is a pretty good one. She kind of made it work though, Lightning as a model, that is. Make it work. I bet you were born in the 2000s. Nope, 1990. And if you so much as mention Resident Evil, Ernesto, I am probably going to have to mute you because I'm getting a little bit tired of this every single stream now. I've explained what the situation is with Resident Evil parodies. I'm kind of sick of repeating myself. Okay, so this is something I do when I'm using reference work in this software. Basically, I create a white background and then I lock it. It just gives me a separate blank canvas on top of this for me to work from. Now, as I said, I'm probably still going to use the actual character portrait just for accuracy on the hair. Hey, Daikaiju Tony. I'll pay you to draw Denim Pavel and hide him in a nutshell as an Easter egg. Who's Denim Pavel? Forgive my ignorance. Thoughts on Silent Hill rumors? Joke. I know that makes you groan. Yeah. So don't even get me started. I'm just sick of every sort of couple of weeks, or even every few days. Oh, supposedly there's a new Silent Hill coming out, and everyone gets all hyped up, and people get their hopes up for like the PlayStation Directs, and the inevitable disappointment sets in, and it's just a very annoying and repetitive cycle. And I'm just kind of bored of it. I mean, it seems like there might be some credibility to this most recent one, but I'm still sort of keeping my expectations in check. Ah, Rabanasta tune. One of my favourite town themes from Final Fantasy games in across the whole series. It's up there with Uldar from 14. Okay, I'm not quite happy with the top of the head, so I'm going to redo that. And that's why the background for the white background I created here is locked, because otherwise that would have just wiped out the entire background there. Denim Pavel is a protagonist of another tactics game, Tactics Ogre. Oh, I should have known, Viral. Who's Mr. Howell? Mr. Howell is my very good friend and very talented voice actor, musician, and animator himself. He produced a lot of the music parodies that feature in our videos, as well as voicing Kane from Final Fantasy IV in a nutshell, and Estinian in 14 in a nutshell. Okay, so here comes the tricky part. Should I use this person's fan art's colour for the hair? I mean, that looks about right. I'm trying to get the first 9 FF games on Steam, have to wait for the paychecks. Obvious comment, but it's really quite cool to see how these things are done. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome, Anthony Cumcliffe. I like doing these streams. It's a chance to show people the process and show why these videos take so damn long. And obviously it's a good opportunity to chat to you people and sort of ask any of your burning questions. Even if every time it is pretty much, requests for particular videos to be made. Okay, let's shade in the head. The effort I go through for a model just for one scene. Oh my god, I can't wait for FFT. I didn't think you would make that video. Well, enough people asked for it, and I caved and finally played the game for a start, and actually wrote a script, and here we are. Video's about halfway done, so you can possibly expect it by the end of this month. Fingers crossed. Unless I'm wrong, there isn't actually an official artwork of Miluda. That's not obviously an in-game sprite, so I admire the guesswork the person who made this fan art has done on the details of her outfit. I mean, they captured the tactics style quite well, this artist. I'll have to give them a signal boost. Or it might turn out they don't need it because they're way more notorious than I am. What plot holes did you notice from the story, RABtoons? Do you mean tactics itself? Because I can't say I noticed many plot holes. More just sort of oddities in character decisions, which aren't necessarily plot holes, and I realise I've drawn on the wrong layer, which is no worry, but okay, how am I going to handle this? Okay, that should have rectified it. Okay, so basically I wanted to squish the model a little bit because I realise I've started veering down a bit too much and not leaving enough room for the legs. Say what you want about Final Fantasy XII, but it had a really good soundtrack. I mean, I know you could say that about any Final Fantasy game you dislike, but this one in particular, I think, really sort of nailed the feel of Ivalice with this soundtrack. They don't have a nose, lol. That's a nice little quirk about the tactic style. How long have you been doing these now? It's a very open question. Do you mean how long have I been doing these videos? How long have I been doing tactics? How long have I been doing this particular stream? Pick your poison. Okay, so it's a very simplistic boots. And let's get the cape going, nice, long and flowing. Okay, so I think we can delete the legs now. the videos, what was the first one? So my first ever parody was actually a Jack Free parody. That was the first animated video I ever made, and it was just parodying this one scene in the game where the villain is sort of all up in the protagonist's face, like, you know, shoving his hand in his face when Jack just doesn't want his personal space to be invaded. So you know, Jack, he keeps doing it, Jack keeps smacking his hand away, and eventually the villain just sort of flat out asks, you know, why can I not put my arm near you? And Jack responds saying, I don't want you in my personal space. It's a very stupid, silly video, but yeah, that was it's still on the channel, I think. Can't actually remember. It's called Jack Free Personal Space if you want to check it out. And that was all the way back in like 2010, 11. I forget exactly when it was. It was back when our models used to look like they all had scoliosis. Your first video was B. Ah yes, but I didn't actually make that particular video myself. That's just something my friend's partner made as a joke and then uploaded to the channel. Can't remember why. That information has been lost to time. A lot of people corrected me that it's actually the B video. It's not technically a parody though, so I'm still technically correct. Okay, so I think I need to make her neck a little bit smaller. Just squish that down a bit. There we go, much better. So now we just give them a pair of noodle arms. Hey RABtoon, how did you come up with your art style? I think it's very unique. So basically I just wanted my own sort of easy to adapt template that you know I can just pick up and make any character I want as a base, and I just wanted something that was sort of quite unique and instantly recognizable. So I went with the creepy soulless eyes that all these models have, because you know, one of the hard things about animating characters' faces is the pupils, like they have to sort of move around and sort of always be doing stuff, kind of, otherwise you just sort of have a dead-eyed sort of character. And I think you can see that the most with our Steiner model from Final Fantasy IX in a nutshell. That's an example of why we have these black eyes, because it's just easier to not have a pupil moving around or just staying in one place all the time, and avoiding that sort of uncanny staring into the void sort of look. But you still kind of get that, I think, with these black eyes, but less so, I would say. Okay, so that's her arms done. Let's delete these. And let's set the model up for animating. So they are ready to go. Let's just check. Did I do that with Larg? Yeah, I did. And there we have it. Miluda. Final Fantasy Tactics is a 1998 game for PlayStation 1. It certainly is, Pasquale. Adds to humour as well, same face, new costume, venerable voice. Yeah, I suppose that's a good way of looking at it as well, Rat King. Okay, so we're about half an hour into this, and we've already smashed out 2 models, so this is going very well so far. So let's open up a new template and crack on with the final one. And this is going to be Golagros. He may be one of those characters they changed the name of slightly in the updated translation. So let's open up Google. Don't need those anymore. Yes, so in the PS1 translation this character is called Golagros, so that's how he's known as in this nutshell, because I based it on the PS1 translation. But they updated it to Gragorov when they properly did update the translation rather than just whatever the hell we did the first time. Rams Esquire isn't saved. Okay, so this might be one of those characters that didn't have any proper artwork, as he's a minor character. Yep, bone dry. Why does every man in Final Fantasy have to be younger than the women? I don't know. When are you going to make a Dragon Quest video? When I finish all the other projects in my pipeline? Duh. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to do some guest work on this guy, because he has got nothing. There's not even any fan art, I don't think. He's such a minor character, he doesn't even have any fan art whatsoever. But I know his in-game model is a knight. Hey, Doobie. So for this model, I'm going to cheat a little bit and use one we made previously. That's the cursed forward-facing RABtoons model. Why do you hate almost every video game's character? I don't. Not sure what you're on about there. Okay, so we're going to do something they do in the gaming industry quite often, and we are going to reuse a model, but we are going to tweak it in the process. So the hair can be different at least. Who is the most pointless romantic interest character in the Final Fantasy series? Good question. I would probably say the romance between Sarah and Snow in 13 was very pointless. Especially if you take into account 13.2 and Lightning Returns, because they barely even interact in those two, and in the ending for Lightning Returns, they don't even speak to each other. So it's just like, what was all that drama and build up for? It is very hard to do guesswork from tiny pixels. How many expansions does Final Fantasy XIV have? 4. Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker. And with many more to come, Yoshi P assures us. I mean, either it's just I'm not interpreting this pixel art correctly, or this guy just has very bad hair. I mean, what even is that haircut? I mean, I think that's as good as it's going to get, because this small portrait is literally all. He looks like he belongs in NSYNC. Tunnel Snake Fallout 3. Oh, is that what you're saying this guy looks like? I remember all the memes about tunnel snakes. Hey RABtoons, do you plan on doing Persona at some point? Again, that's one of those series I haven't played, so I would have to play it first. And it would depend on how much demand there is for it once I've finished all the other projects I'm working on at the moment. So, as I always say, don't say never. Sorry, never say never. Okay, that's a little bit too dark. Will you ever do a Kingdom Hearts in a Nutshell series? So that's another one I get asked about a lot, and I think after giving it a lot of thought, I don't think I will, mainly because I don't want to be compared to just a pancake all the time, and I think there's a lot of copyright issues as well. Like Disney are quite hot on Kingdom Hearts in particular. I'm not sure quite why. Well, it's Disney, duh. Persona 3 is a good start. Rabsies, will you ever do the Final Fantasy games at some point? No, man, I fucking hate Final Fantasy. Get out of here. How dare you? I think I need a slightly darker shade. Nope, too dark. Smidge lighter. Fuck it, that'll do. Okay, don't need... no, actually yes I do need you. So we are just going to recolor this night. And we're going to use the colours from the sprite. Pong in a nutshell when. I don't know man, that game's way too long to make a nutshell of. It would have to be like 20 parts at least. I like the welcome aboard, not important villain joke from Final Fantasy III in a nutshell. Yeah, that's one of my favourites as well. It's a good one. And my colour blindness is bad because this cape here looks red to me, but when I ping the colour here, it looks it's very obviously green. So as you can see, it is quite easy to repurpose these models for something else. So Golagros was easy to make in the end, since we just basically repurposed an existing model. I mean, how he doesn't have any proper artwork. I'm not going to give him a proper model. But we do need to give him arms. I love this scene, funniest moment in Final Fantasy Tactics. Harsh. Hey, BJG videos, or otherwise known as Blackjack. And there we have Golagros, who has no official Final Fantasy Tactics artwork, but we somehow managed to make him a model level regardless. So this actually took a lot less time than I thought it would. How many characters did you already make? This is the third one I've made. Can't blast through these. It's a problem with well, it's not a problem, it's actually a blessing. The Final Fantasy Tactics characters have very simple outfits compared to, say, Final Fantasy 14 or 13. So these models have actually been a delight to make because they take so much less time and they're so much simpler to capture the details of their outfits. Okay. I don't want to stiff you guys on a stream since, you know, I didn't expect these to take so quite so quick. Hang on. No, I don't have that BRB image anymore. I'm trying to think which character in the script do I need next. But I don't want to bring up the script and spoil it for you guys. So I'm just trying to think. See, I made Gafgarion. And who do you meet next? Hey RABtoons, whose model was the hardest to make? So do you mean like in this particular parody or overall? Those are two very different answers. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to maybe not look at the screen for a second. Yeah, that could work. Mustadio. Let's make Mustadio. I'm sure if you really want to spoil yourself properly, you can rewatch the live replay and pause it on the bit where I was opening up the script there, but you know, that's on you if you want to spoil it, but I tried to be as discreet as I could there. Let's see. Stadio Bonanza. The one character I think doesn't look like their sprite properly. I mean, that's quite hard to see there, but if you kind of compare that artwork to there, I know it kind of does, but to me, there's... Lani from 9 was kind of pointless if you count her as a villain. Yeah, that's true. Rania Yusuf, do not you write a script first, then model the characters? Yeah, I mean, that's my whole process. Congratulations, you non-disclosure to yourself. Writing jokes is hard. I meant overall. So overall, I would say Ifrit from Final Fantasy 15 was the hardest one to make, because all the pictures online, and obviously I think this is before they put the bestiary in, this is before you could use that to look at its model properly. I was having to sort of reference 2D artwork, fan art, screenshots, and you know what the battle with Ifrit is like in 15. It's very blurry, you can't quite see what's going on, so it was very difficult to pinpoint the details. I'll bring up the model in a minute and show you what I mean. Mustadio Bonanza. Out of Final Fantasy games, which one was the hardest for you? Believe it or not, 13 was actually the hardest, because contrary to popular belief, you can't just mash X to win. After a certain point, that will get you killed. So at one point it does become very difficult, because you've got to plan out your strategy and switch your paradigms and just keep an eye on things, and it gets very hectic quite quickly. And Final Fantasy 3 was also very difficult. There's a reason the Crystal Tower gives some people PTSD. Damn, Stadio, you huge. Scale that down a little bit. I'm able to type now. Hey, Sin606. Would you ever, if you got a chance, remake your earlier parodies? Yeah, that's actually something I've pondered in the past, and I did think of maybe putting out a poll, because my style has changed quite a lot since Final Fantasy 1 in a nutshell, and my techniques have improved, my sense of humour has evolved as well, and I might throw out a poll to maybe gauge interest on maybe one remake of a previous FF in a nutshell prior to, let's say, 15 in a nutshell. So I would say that's where my style has sort of found a consistent groove, if that makes sense. So before I jump into this one, I'm just going to show you guys something quickly. Ignore that folder called Outcast, that does not exist. Okay, where is he? I think he was one of the first models I made. Yeah, he was. So yeah, this was the hardest model I've ever had to make for Final Fantasy in a nutshell. It was mainly the horns. They were a bit, because look at them, they're just all over the place. So it was very difficult to sort of nail this down, especially with all the textures and the different colours on all his horns. And he's got a bloody bracelet on one of his horns that links up to... What is that? And obviously the crown as well. And the skin. He looks about half burnt. He's got a scar on his chest. He has weird fiery pants as well. And in the end, in the video, you actually only saw him for like a few seconds. All that work just for a few seconds of appearance. So I'll just jump back to what I was actually doing, Nostalgia. If you remake them, then you have to replay them first. Alright. What was the hardest to turn into a nutshell, or heck, the easiest too? I'd actually say Tactics itself, the one I'm working on now, was the hardest to put into a nutshell, because the story is very serious. And very few plot holes and weird things to sort of, you know, exploit or latch onto, like, you know, quirks and stuff. So this one may be different to the parodies you've been used to. The easiest one to nutshell was 15, because oh boy, did I have fun ripping that game to shreds. So one of our previous voice actors you may be familiar with, who voiced Zidane in our 9 in a nutshell, is going to be voicing Mustadio, and I quite like his voice for him, so I look forward to you hearing that. He has a broadcaster voice talent. You mentioned Renoa. I was her nutshell voice. Yes, Blackjack is a veteran of our channel. Very grateful for all their work. Yeah, real talk. LA Noire in a nutshell? Probably not. Tune. Who is your favourite character in Final Fantasy, and why do they call it Never the Final Fantasy? It's got to be my boy Noel Christ. Always be the answer. Not sure what it is about him that I just like so much. It's like I like his character design, I like his backstory, I like his weapons. Okay, I'm not quite happy with that ponytail, so let's do that again. Okay, that looks slightly better. You know, one in a nutshell that would be very funny. Oh god, Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus. My god, the story of that game is so cringe. Perfect material. Yeah, so that is the one Final Fantasy title I vowed never to make a nutshell for, because I absolutely just cannot stand that game. I hate everything about it. Some of the soundtrack is good. That's probably the only thing I actually like about Dirge of Cerberus. But yeah, I really hate that game, so a nutshell of it would just be out of spite, if anything. I understand that's probably disappointing to hear, but just being honest. Many difficult bosses in 12 when I think of this track. Leave a link to your Discord in the description of your videos. If someone from our Discord wouldn't mind doing that, because I will forget to do that. Do you save your night live streams? Just arrived and would like to watch all of it later. If you go onto our channel, scroll down, there's a playlist called live streams, art streams. You can find all our previous live streams there. This one will be there, obviously, shortly. Okay, I think I'm happy with the hair. The Discord sucks. Yeah, kinda does, I won't lie. It's always live and active when I'm asleep, so I can't do a lot myself to keep it active or, engage. And when I am awake, I tend to be working on videos. But there is a nice community there. I like the people on our Discord. Except for Viral, he's a bit of an asshole. I'm kidding, Viral. I love you, really. I wonder if there will be a Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell, but would Disney say something about it if it was made? Probably not, bud. Final Fantasy 12 in a nutshell was one of my favourites. It's not Star Wars. It is Star Wars, though. It totally is. Okay, so his top comes to about there. And he's wearing his overalls down for some reason. Fashion, I guess. That's my best explanation why it's hated, although I've never played it. I think I've missed part of the conversation there. What's your favourite video game character? Probably Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank. Probably one of the most consistent characters in gaming from title to title. They've never really overly messed with his design or personality. Unlike, say, maybe Chris Redfield from Resident Evil. Okay, so he's got a big ass bag on the side of his leg. Really cool seeing you make these. I'm Coolx, by the way. What's your favourite running gag from the Nutshells? So my new favourite one, and do keep this in mind for when you watch the Tactics Nutshell, is it's one of two. So it's character saying I'm X, by the way. So, you know, character saying I'm, you know, Tidus, by the way, I'm Estinian, by the way, etc. Just, I don't know why that gag started, and it's just, I've shoehorned it into every single Nutshell since. It's hard to kind of call it a gag, because it's not really a gag, but it's just become like a staple at this point. My other is characters just randomly doing the Zoidberg shuffle and going whoop, 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 whoop. The stop resisting joke is quite a favourite of mine as well. Really want more Rivet now. Yeah, Rivet was a cool character as well, Doobie. Coolx, Dark Knight of Vander. Yeah, the name Coolx does ring a bell. Is that what it is? Ever since I've seen your name, Coolx, I've been thinking it sort of reminds me of something. I can't quite put my finger on what. Alright, there's obviously a gap in the line art somewhere. It's not obvious where it is. Okay, it must be a very, very tiny gap, because let's make sure these are all connected. Unless I'm being blind, I really can't see where this gap is. Where the hell could it be? Coolx is the hidden Final Fantasy IV style boss from Mario RPG. Oh yeah, now I get it. My favourite is, I know it's not as good as X and Y, but just roll with it, okay? Lol, reminding me people who they are is funny. It's like, who is that again? Yeah, I think that's where the joke sort of originates from, because with the nature of these parodies, characters don't often get introduction scenes. Otherwise the parody would just take way too long if I had to introduce every single character properly. So I just opt for a, hey, I'm X, by the way, style joke. Alright, this is doing my head in. Where the hell is the hole? I'm gonna lose my shit in a minute. Where is it? It can't be that, because that's not linked to the top. I'd be amazed if that was it. This is really mind-boggling. Was it drawn on a different layer? I don't think so. Seriously, why is this not... Oh my god, you know where it was? Can you see that? Wow, that... That's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, there it was. There we go. Having Ida cry, her name was Miluda by the way, may have been the best one. Yeah, I like to work it into sad scenes. Basically, I've challenged myself to work it into any kind of scene possible. Okay, I don't quite like the blue in the official art, so I'm gonna go with my own shade. Do 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 do. Oh god, and now the punchline to that scene is gone from the game. The nutshell stands as a testament to that. It was the aggravation of the fill tool. Amen, Ben. Amen. I was very close to losing my rag as well there. It was seriously frustrating me because I could not see the gap whatsoever. It's one of the downsides to using this very outdated software. But I'm very set in my ways with using it, so it's just something I've come to sort of accept. It's kind of embarrassing when it happens on stream because I'm very unprofessional. Didn't mean to do that. Who do you think is taller, Henry or Richard? Henry who and Richard who? Oh, I might have missed it. Did you ever draw Agrius? I think I did. I think that was off stream. No context, that was in the 15 folder there. That was something I was showing people earlier. Algus, Doodles, Bolbanes, Dicedog, Alma, Zolberg, Deleter, Ramza. Yes, I did make Agrius. Can't remember if I made her on stream or not. I think I did. Anyway, I'm almost finished with Mustadio. Don't think I need his reference anymore. So let's give him some noodle arms. From Silent Hill, Henry and Richard. Oh, Richard, I guess. If you mean Richard Braintree. Alright, so let's attach his head to his body. And there we have Mustadio. I think he turned out quite well. Okay, so made 4 models today rather than the standard 3. I've still got a little bit of time to spare. So would you guys rather have a doodle session, or would you want to see one more character being made? It might mean I would have to open up the script again quickly. Okay, we've got one for doodle, one for make one more character. Yeah, I'm kind of doodling now, just doing this whilst I wait for the votes to roll in. I would like to see another character, so that's 2 for another character. Fan game creator doesn't care either way. We have another for model. What made you think of using the My Planet Needs Me joke for Nero? So with Nero, I've kind of just taken the stance that he just does whatever he wants whenever he wants, like does whatever he wants whenever he wants. And obviously he's kind of like a loose parody of Wesker from Resident Evil, so he just says and does random shit all the time. Okay, I think another character is the popular vote here, so let me just open up the script very quickly. Avelia. Did I do Avelia already? Yes, I did. Draclow, that could be an interesting one. So let's open up the blank template. Let's make good old Draclow. Now I think he does have official artwork, but it's not very clear. Like, you know, it's very low res. Alphonse Delacroix. That's very different from the name I've been using. Spoiler. Look away. Avert your gaze. So you see what I mean by his artwork is quite low res. That's fine. We'll obviously do a little bit of sleuthing to make his model. So we'll get his body there. I hope you save your models on an external drive. I do monthly backups. Don't worry, I learnt from that mistake before. I have saved literally every single model from every single parody, even the sort of, you know, one-off characters you only see for a few seconds, just in case I ever need them for something. So, for example, there's a Tales of Blunder Final Fantasy XIV comic coming out in a few days. You can see it early on our Patreon and by being a member of our channel, but basically it involves the knights from Heaven's Ward that you only saw briefly at the end carrying the coffin. So, for example, there I've been able to reuse those models to adapt a scene from Heaven's Ward that wasn't covered in the video. Quite look forward to you people seeing that one. He doesn't even save his nutshells in backup storage. I do viral, I just don't save things like the trailer I made for 13.2. All the nutshell videos have been saved. Who's the better pirate, Faris or Jack Sparrow? Well, Faris managed to live as a woman in disguise amongst a bunch of pirates for all her life, so she must be quite skilled in deception and obviously keeping pirates in line. So I'd probably have to say Faris. So I think for this particular model I might deviate from the usual a little bit. Actually no, I think I'll do something I sometimes do in this situation. Alright, so where is he? So he's obviously completely bald. Where backup of FF3 Onion Knight Edition? It's on here. Just YouTube was funny about me having it on the channel, so I got rid of it. Don't know why. They seem to be okay with the Stranger of Paradise parody, which is basically the same concept. But maybe I changed enough of that one to throw them off. RABtoons, here's another one. Layla or Barbosa? Gotta say Barbosa. Are you gonna bring up Lion next at the fan game creator? See, this is one of those tracks in Final Fantasy XII that just sort of really strengthens that comparison to Star Wars I often joked about in a nutshell. Can't really see where the gap is here. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people played Final Fantasy XI, unfortunately, since 606. I'm going to make his body slightly wider than normal for this one. I'd say this one kind of has that Star Wars vibe as well. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people played Final Fantasy XI, but enough played it to give me shit for the nutshell of 11 we did. I can tell you that much. Some of the hate I get for that can be quite mean-spirited. Is it a decoration on robe or soup state? Yeah, I can kind of see what you mean there. This is an epic Empire theme. Out of all the nutshells, which one has been the toughest to do? Definitely 14, mainly because the having to sort of juggle 4 main characters with all the different poses, and the fact that we changed our outfits halfway through the video. Definitely doubles the workload, but it's worth it, I think, in the end, because it sort of gives that authentic sort of 14 feel. Okay, so I'm gonna look up his sprite in game for a second. Yeah, I know that's quite blurry, but it would give us more accurate colours, I think. Don't think we need that anymore. He looks like a member of Team Plasma. Oh yeah, kinda does. With their weird robes. While googling characters, have you ever appeared on the list first? Sadly no. I mean, I don't see why I would, but I think some searches in YouTube that aren't directly related to me do bring up my channel first, which is quite a nice feeling. But I can't decide if that's because it knows it's me logged in, so it's doing it because of that, or if it's genuinely, if you know what I mean. What inspired the super fat portraits out framed in various screens? I just thought it'd be a fun little Easter egg to hide in each video. See how many people point it out. Sort of drives up engagement on videos. People will often sort of point out and say, what was that at 2:31 or 5 minutes in, etc. Also goes hand in hand with getting things wrong on purpose to drive up deliberate conversation in the comments. It's a dirty little trick, but don't hate the player, hate the game. Like for example, if you remember from the Final Fantasy 15 nutshell, there was a joke at the start where Noctis points out that his dad dies in the movie that happens before the game, which was technically true on my end, but I knew it would rile up enough people to point out that actually no, the movie happens after the game, or in between the game, etc. And it's things like that that drive up discussion. But for that particular one, I know I was correct because it does happen before the game, and I will die on that hill. Rab, if content strikes, copywriting were no concern, you had all the resources, etc., what would be your dream project to animate? Let's see. So I would definitely try to bring my original comic series to life using all the sort of music choices that I envision for it, with obviously no ramifications, and hiring the voice talent for characters, etc. that I've always sort of dreamed of working with. What else? Obviously being able to hire extra animators to really make it pop would definitely be a bonus.